Hey guys, now it's time to start a discussion about operators and operations. So what are operators and operations? Let's start with operators. In Java, operators are special symbols or keywords that perform operations on operands. These operations can include arithmetic calculations, logical comparisons, and bitwise manipulations. In the expression a plus b, the plus symbol is the operator that adds the value of a and b. Operands. Operands are values or variables on which operators perform operations. In the expression a plus b, both a and b are operands. In the expression 5 times x, the operands are 5 and the variable x. Arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are used for mathematical calculations. They include addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. And modulus is not so well known outside of the programming context, but what the modulus does is giving us the reminder of division. I'm going to see how we can use the modulus operator in code immediately. And have the example int result 10 plus 5. Here the plus is the arithmetic operator and 10 and 5 are operands. Next we have comparison operators. Comparison operators are used to compare two values. They include the equality, double equal, inequality, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. And we have an example, boolean is equals parenthesis x equals I. Here the double equals is the comparison operator. Next we have logical operators. Logical operators are used to perform logical operations between boolean values. They include AND, OR, and NOT. Example, we have the boolean result equals to A greater than 0 and B less than 10. Here the 2 ampersand sign is the logical AND operator, which combines those two expressions on the left and on the right. Assignment operator. Definition. We have the assignment operators are used to assign values to variable, and we already looked at the assignment operator, which is the basic assign operator, which is the equals, which assigns what is on the right to the left of the to the variable on the left. We have bitwise operators. Bitwise operators perform operations at the bit level. They include AND, OR, XOR, left shift, right shift, unsigned right shift. You have the example int result A ampersand sign B. Here the ampersand sign is the bitwise AND operator. And ultimately, finally, we have unary operators. Unary operators operate on a single operand. Example include unary operator plus, unary operator minus, and logical NOT. Example have int result equals minus x. Here the minus is the unary minus operator. Alright, let's open IntelliJ IDE now and let's work with those operators. Alright, so let's delete this code because we don't need this code, and let's declare two variables. One is going to be an integer called num1. I'm going to assign 5 to it, semicolon. Another one int num2. So we're going to assign 3 and semicolon. And let's start with our first operators that we can use in Java. So let's type SOT, and I will put here num1 plus num2. So the plus operator first. Let's press Ctrl D, and let's change this now to minus, multiplication, which is an asterisk, division, and the modulus operator. So SOT num1 modulus, so percent sign, num2. Now let's run this code to see what you get in the output. Get 8, 2, so get 8 first because we're adding 5 plus 3, then we get 2 because we are subtracting 5 minus 3, then we get 15 because here we are multiplying num1 times num2, which is 15, then we get 1 for the division, and for the modulus we get 2 because 5 divided by 3 is 1 with a remainder of 2. So those are the first operators that we'll use in our code. Now let's go down here. Now let's declare another variable here, also an int, my number, and I'm gonna put equals to, let's say, 0, semicolon. Now sometimes in programming you'll want to increment a value just by 1, and to do that you can type here my number equals my number plus 1. So what we are doing here is we are assigning to the variable my number which is 0 plus 1. This is not mathematically correct because my number is not equal to my number plus 1, but this is the assignment operator, not the equals to operator, which checks to see if two operands are the same. And there is a shorter way to write what we have here. But first let's output this in the console, my number. Let's run it to see that indeed we get 1. So we get 1 on the last output here. And there is a shorter way to write, because these are so often used in programming, there is a shorter way to write this thing. There is an abbreviation. So I can delete this, and what I can type, I can put here plus equals on. And this is the same code as previously. So it's adding now the value of my number and plus 1 to the variable my number. Now let's do the same thing for the next ones. Let's type here my number minus equals, because you can do also with the minus equals 1. SOUT, I'm gonna output in the console my number. Let's do the same for my number for the multiplication equals 1. SOUT, my number for the division, my number let's SOUT this in the console. Let's do the same for the modulus. So I'm gonna type my number again, %sign equals 1. SOUT, my number. And now let's run this code and to get the corresponding result, which is the calculations that we have here. So everything works fine. And now sometimes in programming you'll want to increment, because here I can put, instead of 1 I can put 5. So I can change this to 5, let's say, in all the places. So I can change this to 5. I can increment by something else. So let's run this. But sometimes in programming you will want to increment a variable only by 1, and for that we have a special operator. And I'm gonna type here my number. I'm gonna put equals 0. So I'm gonna assign, actually it has already 0, but to make sure that it's 0, I'm gonna assign 0 to the variable here, because as you can see in the output, the last value of my number is already 0, but we're gonna assign 0 to make sure that it's 0. And I'll type SOUT, and the first operator is called prefix incrementation. It's called the prefix incrementor. So I'm gonna type prefix incrementation, and the prefix incrementation, when you add to a variable only 1, is plus plus. You put plus, so we put plus plus my number. So this is what this is the prefix incrementation operator. So now if you run this, you get 1. So it incremented the value by 1. So this is called prefix incrementation. There is also postfix incrementation. So I can type here SOUT. Let's type postfix incrementation. Let's put plus. So this plus is for concatenating what we have on the right with what we have on the left. So it's not part of this expression that we have here. Alright, so the next operator is called postfix incrementation, and it's going to be my number plus plus. And now it's at the end. So now if you run this, we get prefix incrementation 1. This is because this increments the value and it returns the value in the, here. What this postfix incrementation is, it's returning the value first. So we have from the previous line of code, we have 1, and after that it increments. This is why you get 1 here and not 2, because this will first return a value, which is 1 from the previous, as you can see here, from the previous output, and then it will increment the value. And if you call now the variable again, SOUT, now it will, my number, now if you run this, now it will have 2. Because as I said, this first returns the value and then it increments the value. So you have 2, as you can see here. Alright, and there are the same operators are for subtracting. So to subtract only by 1, or to subtract only by 1. So let's copy this code. I'm gonna paste it here. It's gonna be prefix decrementation. It's a minus sign, minus, and postfix decrementation. Alright, let's run this. Should be minus here. Let's run it again. Alright, so get 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Alright, now I'm gonna end this video here and see you in the next video.